Good evening, dear viewers. Thanks for joining us on the 7 p.m. edition of the news. We are broadcasting to you live from the studios of Reflet Afrique Television. We begin with our headlines. A student from the Moko High School in the central region of the country stabs his colleague to death. 3 die after timber chains cut off in the south region, and Sudan struggles to house 25,000 Ethiopian refugees. Good evening once more and welcome to the details of these stories and more. We bring to you details of this story from the central region of the country, where the school milieu has once again been hit by violence. This time it is the Kaiki Technical High School in the Mbam and the Inubu division in the central region, where a student from the above school was stabbed by his classmates from the Moko High School yesterday, November 16, 2020. More details in this report. Calm is yet to return to the locality of the Mbam and Inubu division in the central region after a student named Kemi Kevin of the Premier Arcade Espagnol from the Moko High School in the Kaiki subdivision stabbed a student of the Kaiki Technical High School Nyam Mohamed of Segon FK to death. According to reports, the victim died shortly after the incident, which happened a few meters away from the government high school Muku at about 2:30 p.m. Monday, November 16, 2020. The head of the Muku Gendarmerie Post has opened investigations into the incident after the perpetrator escaped after realizing that his colleague gave up the ghost. Stabbing of teachers and students has become a common practice in the school milieu, especially in the urban areas. Earlier this year, a teacher lost his life in Yaoundé after being stabbed by his student. The Douala region had also recorded a similar incident last year at the government bilingual high school Deido, when a squabble amongst a group of students broke out and the victim, called Blériot, came in to protect his friend and got stabbed by one of the bullies. The school milieu in Cameroon has been under attack recently from separatist fighters and also misunderstanding between students. Even though reasons for yesterday's barbaric act remains unknown, blames have been poured on lack of efficient training and the practice of uncultured acts by youth. At least 2 persons from the same family have lost their lives in the south region, Ebolowa, after the chains holding timber to a truck cut off on the Ambam Highway yesterday, November 16, 2020. The 2 victims who were the pastors of the LEPC mission. His wife, who is a teacher in the locality, were on a bike behind the truck when 2 logs of timber rolled out and crashed them to death on the spot. As of yesterday, the head of the Gendarmerie Post in the south region barricaded the road, preventing other trucks of that nature from circulating. The Forestry Ministry has also been alerted to track the source of the timber and its destination, and also to alert all parties involved in the transportation of the wood and the owner of the vehicle to report to the competent authorities and mourn with the bereaved families. The 2 days governor conference held in Yaoundé that opened on Monday, yesterday, November 15, 2020, and was presided over by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, ended today with a focus to tighten security measures. While opening the conference, Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, challenged the governors of the 10 regions of the country to brainstorm and provide concrete answers to security challenges in their regions ahead of the elections expected to hold on December 6, 2020, as well as the end-of-year feast. Also in attendance at the Governors' Conference was the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bangangwele, who presented a global view of the security situation in the country, as well as the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development in the person of Georges Elanga Obam, who stressed on the importance of the regional elections in the effective implementation of the decentralization process in the country. 22-year-old Rosalinda has met her demise earlier today in the country's political capital Yaoundé after being stabbed by a motorbike rider in front of her residence. And according to confirmed reports from her family members, the victim was returning to her residence in the 2D neighborhood at about 1 a.m. November 16 when her transporter murdered her before she could get to her home. Even though reasons for the act is yet unknown, the perpetrator, however, flee from the site before neighbors and onlookers could arrive. Fighting in neighboring Ethiopia's Tigray regions have caused the fleeing of over 3,000 people after rockets landed in the outskirts of the capital Asmara on Saturday evening. Sandrine Dumbe with this report.
25,000 Ethiopian refugees have fled the northern Tigray region into neighboring Sudan. They are fleeing heavy fighting in East Africa's most populous nation. Facing heat and hunger, Sudan is struggling to rebuild a refugee camp to house the refugees. This camp is divided into three sectors, that is the old camp, the middle camp and the new camp, where the refugees are received and registered. The reception will be at the moment of arrival and they are transferred and settled in the middle camp. According to one of the workers, electricity is to be installed, but this would take at least 7 to 10 days of hard work in order to get everything in place. Fresh unrest in Tigray began when Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered military operations in the region in response to an alleged attack on a federal base. The move comes after months of growing tension with the Tigray People's Liberation Front.
And on to sport, the Indomitable Lions yesterday, November 16, 2020, defeated the Mambas of Mozambique 2-0 in their second encounter in Maputo against the upcoming 2022 African Cup of Nations Championship. Currently, the Lions of the country are the group leaders of Group F with 10 points for the 2022 AFCON Games. Last week, the Indomitable Lions played against the Mambas of Mozambique at the Amado Ahijo Stadium in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, winning the friendly encounter with a 4-1 goal. After yesterday's win, the Lions were blocked in Maputo, Mozambique, as the Maputo officials were demanding the deposition in regards to fuel invoices for the national carrier Cameco. The team, however, was expected at the Maputo airport earlier today for their scheduled flight by 12:30 p.m. It is with this sports edition that we end this edition of the English Newscast. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying tuned. See you tomorrow with another edition of the English Newscast. Good evening once more.